What's up, Vetters? Patrick here with Vetted. Today we are discussing Disclosure Day with spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, just be prepared. I gave it a 6 out of 10 in my non-spoiler review, and I stand by that number even after a few days of letting it settle in. I mean, I just didn't really like the movie that much, but it wasn't a horrible movie, right? It wasn't the worst movie that's ever been made. I just didn't really enjoy it. Like, honestly, I'll probably never watch this movie again unless I'm forced to somehow. I just thought this was like the most non-Spielberg movie I've ever seen. And I say that as someone who loves Spielberg. I've seen every movie he's ever made multiple times. I love his movies. In fact, a few of his movies rank in my top 20 movies of all time. I think Spielberg is the greatest American director we've ever had, right? But this movie just didn't hit it for me. I know a lot of people like it. I don't care. I'm not here to talk about what other people think of the movie. I'm just here to talk about what I think of the movie. I just really didn't like it. I thought even the acting was okay, right? It passed. I think the standout was the supporting actress who the whistleblower's girlfriend, right? Who they keep using her to like see where they're at, right? I thought she did the best job, honestly, in the whole movie. And everyone was saying, "Oh, Emily Blunt's so great." Yeah, she's okay in the movie, but I mean, I'm just gonna say she felt very one-dimensional to me, and there were a lot of scenes that felt like a high school play. I'm just saying, that's just my opinion. But was she okay? Yeah, she was okay. I thought it was just corny and hokey, and there was just a lot of stuff that was so like ridiculous. And we're talking about aliens. So, for instance, I mentioned the supporting actress, right? They use her again, Colin Firth's character, right? The bad guy in the movie. He basically can, using this little magic thing in the movie from Aliens, right? This little stick that they use to sort of drop in on people. He uses it to find out where the whistleblower and the girlfriend are, right? You see that. And then she even tries to like kill him with the knife after he rescues her, right? Well, then they're in this hotel room, right, in the movie. And they go to sleep, and she's like, "Oh, you got to tie me up. You can't trust me anymore." Granted, she says it way better because she's the best one in the movie. And they tie her up. They don't cover her eyes. Blindfold her. What did you think? How did you, you know what I mean? The one thing you would want to do is blindfold her. It seems so obvious. And then they find out they're in this hotel room, right? It's just ridiculous. It was stupid, right? And right before that, there's a scene where they're at this like house in the country, and Josh O'Connor, his character, the whistleblower, right? He has to go rescue her because he's out making a phone call in a field where a crop circle just appears out of nowhere. You're just like, why did that happen? No reason, no explanation. Doesn't mean anything the rest of the movie. It's so weird. He's on the phone and just whatever. And so he's out there, and he gets he gets a call from Emily Blunt's character, like, "Don't go back to the house. Don't this, She has these weird superpowers that just don't make any sense to me, if you ask me. And, so he goes back to the house, and there's all these secret agents there, like going up on it, And honestly, it felt like a TV show, right? It felt like something from a 2000s TV show, like just ridiculous to me. Just the very typical black outfit, there was nothing special about it. Again, we're talking about Spielberg. I'm holding him to a higher standard than just some normal, right? This felt like a TV movie that comes out on streaming, made by a whatever director, not Spielberg. Anyway, he goes back to the house, right, to rescue his girlfriend, right, essentially. And he stands behind this fence posting, right? It's like 3 posts. You can literally see him, and he's ducking behind it so they don't see him in the middle of the day. What? First of all, that's stupid. Then he's army crawling across to go steal a car, and then he drives through the house and gets her, and they drive off, right? What? I mean, I thought it was ridiculous. There was it wasn't clever in any way, right? And the movie's 2.5 hours long, right? It's 2.5 hours long, and you just feel like nothing happens in the movie. Just a lot of stupid stuff. I mean, there's like a 4 or 5 minute scene, I swear to God, where Emily Blunt's just trying to um, break a phone on the street, an iPhone on the street. No, back up over it. Oh, you missed it. And she gets, oh, you missed it again. It was meant to be funny, I guess. It wasn't funny at all. It was stupid. It was just a waste of time. What are we doing? I just felt like there was so many hokey, corny, waste of time moments in the film from the get-go, right? I mean, it starts in this like wrestling thing. They're in this wrestling arena and Josh O'Connor's and then they get them. I mean, that was kind of probably one of the most interesting parts of the movie. And then it just goes downhill from there, right? And again, he has this like little stick that he uses, like, don't press it, that'll, make it go off. The way they inserted exposition into the movie was just ridiculous to me. I felt like every character in the film to me was so one-dimensional, right? This movie was meant to be about empathy and emotion and, humanity, yet we didn't learn the humanity of any of the characters, right? I felt zero connection to anybody. Anybody, no one, zero, zilch, right? And it just felt hokey, right? Then you got this train scene that happens, right? And it was, oh my God, you see this train scene? Yeah, that was the dumbest train scene I've ever seen. Like the action scene where the car gets stuck on the train and the train's going and the car's just stuck on it, right? And just moving along and they get out of the hood and jump off and the guy's literally in the road right next to them shooting at him. I mean, it was just, again, out of a TV show. It was just stupid. I thought it was stupid. It looked bad. I just thought it was ridiculous. And it was just adding action that didn't have anything to do with the plot of the movie. You know what I mean? Like Spielberg, again, we're talking Spielberg. We're talking the guy that did Saving Private Ryan, Jurassic Park, Minority Report, Munich. Well, wasn't it more like Munich? That would have been a better disclosure movie. And let's just talk about the elephant in the room. They have a movie called Disclosure Day, and they don't ever show you Disclosure Day, right? They show you Disclosure Moment, and then the movie ends, right? Let's talk about the end of the movie. I'm sure we're just going to jump around. The ending of the movie was atrocious to me. Now, granted, people are like, I didn't like the way it abruptly ended. That's not really a problem for me. It was more how long the ending was. Remember E.T., Close Encounters? I mean, Spielberg is known for having these longer endings to really, really pull out the emotions and the hope and everything that's happening, right? And you just never feel that, like it's building up to this moment, and then it just ends. And it felt so weak sauce. Again, Spielberg, greatest director, a passion project of his. He's been working on this script since 2017, almost 10 years. And this is what we get. And then this alien, they just wheel out this alien and he steps up and whispers in their ear, and then she just goes up to the camera, listen. And then boom, the movie, where'd the alien come from? What the fuck? We didn't, just this alien shows up in a wheelchair, again, why is he in a wheelchair? What is going on? And it looked horrible. The alien looked horrible. It was just stupid. I thought it was stupid. How about the scene in the warehouse where they used the stick in this, house that they grew up in, right? Emily Blunt's character grew up in this house and she has this freak out moment. Again, overacting. Talk about like drama school shit, right? Like literally high school shit. She's a way better actress than that. She's an amazing actress. And I just don't think she got the runway to really land that plane in this movie, right? I heard people say, maybe she might deserve an Oscar. An Oscar? What? I mean, this is crazy. I've lowered the standards, but they got that scene in the warehouse. She's holding a stick in this house, and then she makes the whole house disappear. What? This stick can literally do anything. It was stupid. It was stupid. They didn't set up the rules for the movie's universe. So, it felt like they just weren't playing in any rules. So anything could happen. Well, this then they can get away. They just use a stick and everything goes away. You know what I mean? Like there was no tension there, and it was meant to be this very tense moment, suspenseful moment. I felt zero suspension. Again, this whole government team, the men in black that were in the movie, I mean, they're the, you know, just the most incompetent team. It just felt stupid and ridiculous. This team of people and Colin Firth's character. And these are the people that have been keeping this a secret forever. I mean, how did it not get out before that with this team running it? It just seems stupid, right? And there seemed to be this database that you could walk out with in a box. And that's what Josh O'Connor did. I mean, what? Just these like USB sticks. I just thought it was ridiculous. I just thought so much of the movie was ridiculous. And I kept hoping it would get better. But every scene was just like, this is hokey. Am I crazy? This is so hokey. This just feels so bad. You know, it's like nobody pushed back on Spielberg to any ideas he had. Now, granted, he's the guy that did Schindler's List and Jurassic Park in the same year. He was filming Schindler's List and Jurassic Park at the same time. That's who Steven Spielberg is. Raiders of the Lost Ark. I mean, what a Minority Report, AI, Saving Private Ryan. He is the GOAT, y'all. The Fabelmans, the last movie he released, amazing. What an amazing movie. This movie, not good. Just not good. And I'm being generous to give it a 6, in my opinion, right? I think that score is going to lessen and lessen as the movie goes, to be honest. Now, you might be thinking, Patrick, well, you know, maybe you're just too deep to the UFO lore, you know, and that's why you know, it didn't meet your expectation. No, that's not. The movie itself was bad. Now, let's talk about the UFO lore that's in the movie. All right, let's get to that because I'm just talking about the movie. You know, there was a part in the first trailer that came out where Josh O'Connor, the whistleblower's character, says, you know, there's 7 billion people on this planet, blah, blah, blah. Well, people took that clip, including myself, that specific quote, and like 7 billion. Well, there's 8 billion people on the planet. Why would he say 7 billion? Are there a billion hybrids? Is this set in the past? Right? People started to then theorize about the plot of the movie. Right? Well, when you watch the movie, he doesn't say 7 billion. He says 8 billion because the movie is set in present day. Right? So they did a little trailer trickery to throw people off of what the plot of the movie is. But to be honest, they didn't need to do that because the movie has no plot, if you ask me. Zero plot. I don't, you know, it's like 2 people tried to release the information about UFOs. And that's a 2.5 hour movie with 0 in it. Nothing. You know, a couple good conversations, a few good shots for sure. And even some of these weird cinematic shots that they did just didn't mean anything. There was no point of doing it. It was like just to do it, you know? It's like, if you've ever seen Children of Men, that's a great shot where they're in this car and you see this wonder where the camera is going in and out of the car and it's moving around because it's this awesome action sequence. They did something like that in the movie when it's just like he's on a phone call. You know what I mean? Like it was stupid. But yeah, the UFO lore in the movie. So they did that with the trailer, 8 billion. Okay, so it's 8 billion. So none of that has to do with anything. That would have been a more complex movie, right? That's the thing. A lot of people are like, oh, it's going to be dense. It's going to have a lot of different stuff. This is going to be a dense movie. It's not dense at all, right? It's about as shallow as a saucepan. And, you know, there's this part where the whistleblower, Josh O'Connor, is trying to talk to his girlfriend. And there could have been something there with them too. There could have been something there. And they tried to explore a little bit. But again, you felt nothing for them, anything about the relationship. In fact, I thought that was his sister for the first 10 minutes of them together. You know what I mean? So bad. Anyway, he says, you know, he basically wants to convince her of what's going on, right? So he, you know, why are you on the run? You know, okay. Takes out the laptop, puts a thing, starts showing her videos. Roswell, that stuff looked horrible to me. I mean, it just looked stupid and corny and hokey and bad. But Roswell's real, right? They reveal that in the movie. And that's the most famous UFO case in the world. Again, but it just hokey, stupid. It just was so bad. Then he shows her like this, you know, video footage of a story that's been told in UFO lore, which is about Richard Nixon and Jackie Gleason, an actor right? Allegedly, Richard Nixon took Jackie Gleason after a night of partying and drinks, took him to a secret base and showed him aliens. And that story has just, been told throughout ufology. And Joe Rogan's talked about a lot on the show. Just heard that out there. Well, they put that in the movie, except they don't say Jackie Gleason. They just say a TV star, right? And they use that as the reason to show you more aliens in the movie on security camera footage. And you see Richard Nixon with this TV star who's supposed to be Jackie Gleason. And they're like, and that's why they don't tell presidents anymore. So that story becomes the reason why presidents don't get to know any of that stuff, right? And that's part of the cover-up. Again, stupid. I just thought that was stupid. I just thought it was just corny. It was just really corny to me. I just wasn't happy with that. I just felt they could have done so much more with the movie, and it ended up becoming just this corny, hokey, bad CGI, bad action, pretty much bad acting, bad storytelling, corny scenes, bad exposition. I mean, again, bad, rules of the movie, right? Rules of the universe within the movie, right? It was just stupid, built on empathy and hope. There was just some things that could have been cool there, right? If half the movie was them trying to get to disclosure, then the other half is them how humanity is changed by disclosure, right? But you don't ever see that. Again, Disclosure Day comes at the very end of the movie for a split second, right? And in fact, you actually barely get to see it. Like, it happens and then it's just over. And that was the whole cool thing that would have been in the movie, right? To explore that. And again, they had some interesting conversations. How would this affect, society and religion? And this, again, they try to explore a lot of threads, but then they never pull them. It just like quickly mentioned and then boom. And they just had a lot of things that didn't add up to anything, right? They had a lot of little things that didn't add up to anything. And if they would have focused on less things, but just explored the little things they chose more, you would have had a denser story, right? It was like a dish with like 100 ingredients on it, instead of just doing 3 to 5 ingredients and make those the best ingredients, right? They just didn't do that. It was like a horrible buffet of ufology. That's what you got. You got the burnt, chicken, and you got, the burnt shrimp tempura, and you got that salad that's been sitting there rotten forever, and the vegetables, and, whatever, fruit, and all kind of just crap food, right? You come to a buffet, it's just got all these options, and they all suck, right? It's the Cheesecake Factory of UFO movies, right? Just the biggest menu, and it all sucks. I just so disappointed because I really wanted it to be more. And it's not because I know all about ufology and they should have done. Regardless, it wasn't a good movie, right? Maybe themes they talked about are cool, but that didn't necessarily make the movie cool. So I really think Steven Spielberg dropped the ball. And I think once the initial sort of response for the movie, this movie will not age well. I don't think people will like it as much as the emotion and initial adrenaline sort of dies down. But if you like the movie, great. Let me know what you think down in the comments, about it. Put whatever your opinions are. Remember, there is no right opinion about a movie. Everyone's allowed their own opinion. It's subjective, so you can't tell someone their review is wrong. It's impossible. My review is not wrong, and your review is not wrong, even if you like the movie, and I really didn't. So anyway, we'll see you guys on the next one. Remember, Vetters, every day's a gift, y'all. Peace.